How have you been, Jord?
Yeah, all good, mate. Just got back from went on a little break. Me and the missus went for a week in Lanzarote. It was well needed, to be honest, John. Especially after the year what we had in the champ. I think we counted our last training week. I think it was 48 or 49 weeks what we've been in, something like that. So, and with hardly any weekend, maybe two or three. What we didn't have a game. So it was well needed, mate. To be honest.
Tough going on the body, that mate, and it again, that's something else we don't see. We just it we love you love the game, obviously, but you've got life as well, haven't you?
Yeah, that and do you know what, John? I sort of going off my opinion. I've only sort of like realised that as I've grown up. You know what I mean? As a young lad, I could play like Saturday, Sunday, and then I'd be absolutely fine Monday. You know what I mean? But now, and I just used to always think rugby, but now like I'll play on a Sunday and I'll struggle to get up on a Monday. But like you want to, like you say, you want to do more things in your life, don't you? As you grow up, and you only realise that when you get older. Um, but like you say, keep going while you can. We all love the sport, don't we? So
Hindsight's nice as well, Jordan, and like you said, it's all we've knew, and you
yeah,
can bounce back when you're a pup, can't you? And
yeah,
now it's like just as you're recovering from being sore, it's game day again, and it's just that vicious
yeah, exactly.
cycle.
Like you say, play a Sunday and then come training Tuesday again, and you sort of like going to training going, I'm still a little bit iffy. You know what I mean? Especially working.
No, well, that's the other thing as well, mate. We'll get into all that in a bit then, mate. I will pep you about it. So before we get stuck into your rugby story, mate, where was home for a young Jordan?
So I've lived and grew up in Haydock all my life, John. Obviously, I come off a council estate growing up. Um, all my best mates are that local. Um, but we didn't really come from a financial well off background. But me and my two sisters, we never needed for anything, mate. We always got provided for, always got everything we wanted. And we was always brought up to have that respect for everybody else, no matter where you come from. And I'd like to think, no matter like where I've gone in my career and in life as well, I've always took that with me. So obviously respect everyone.
Treat people as you want to be treated, I suppose, mate. That's what council estate. I'm a council estate lad. It's just how it is, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate,
Yeah.
definitely.
So where's your competitive edge come from, mate? Having two sisters, was that something you've grew up to
Yeah,
um like learn about, or did you have it straight away?
do you know what it was, John? I think probably is literally like in in my like our generation, we'd finish school and I'd be out playing some kind of sport on the street. You know what I mean? Until it went dark or till someone come out looking for you. And I just think like just being out with your mates and having a game of rugby or football. I just think it was. I never wanted to lose. You know what I mean? I think that was just instilled from me from a young age.
And what side of the line do you support, mate? Because Haydock's like a mix, in it.
Well, I'm weird, me, John. To be honest, I'm between St Helens and Wigan. But I support
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is mad, that, isn't it?
I'm from St Helens. I went to school in Wigan, but I support Warrington. No, what it is, my granddad, when he was alive, he started
Yeah.
supporting Warrington, and it just got passed down all the family then. So everyone in my family support Wire. Like
Oh, fair enough. Did you get the games in that, mate? Or
I went, John, religiously till I was about 16, something like that. I followed them home and away
yeah,
every single year. When I got 16, obviously, I just sort of grew out of it a little bit,
yeah,
and started like doing things on my own and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I'll still watch it every now and then when they're on the telly, and all my cousins and that they still go, but I don't really
yeah,
go to the games as much now.
yeah. So would that have been your aim without jumping too far ahead, mate? Would possibly playing Warrington scholarship and academy have been the target?
Yeah, I mean, as a
Yeah,
young lad, I obviously started playing, and then that was my aim to play like for obviously a big club. Obviously, it
yeah.
was because I supported them. Um, but it's only when you grow up and you obviously realise that sometimes that's not always the aim, and you start having priorities and responsibilities, and things just don't work out, or you've just got to do what you've got to do at that point.
Life happens, mate, don't it? Life happens. So where was your first club, mate, and how did your first club get introduced to you?
Yeah, so my uncle, actually, my uncle Steve, he was, I think he was the chairman at the time at Haydock, or he was well involved within the club, and I think it was about 6 or 7, and he said to me he's going to take me down, so I was like, yeah, okay, and I remember it to this day. He took me, and obviously I was always a little bit shy anyway as a kid, so I was dreading it anyway. So goes on the park near where we are, like, and gets introduced to this new group of lads. And I remember we did like a little a lap to warm up, and halfway around the lap, I just started crying my eyes out, hysterical crying, saying, "No, I don't like it. I don't want to do it." And to be fair to Uncle Steve, like, he tried to like sort of persuade me, and I kept on going back. My Uncle Steve has 3 lads, but two are older than me. My 2 cousins, Martin and Steve. And so they were decent players, to be fair. They only ever played amateur, like, but I think it gave me something to sort of like look up to, you know what I mean? And sort of like think, well, I want to be like that, you know, when I grow up. So I think that sort of spurred me on in my early days, you know, like growing up, just having that them sort of like role models, you know, who played and they was half decent.
And could look after you as well without knowing it, mate, couldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Which did. We're quite a close family, so that's exactly how it was. You know, especially our Steve's, I think, 3 or 4 years above me, so I kind of grew up with him like a brother. You know what I mean? So it was good to have them there.
No, that's nice that as well, mate. Because these amateur clubs are family clubs, aren't they? Even when like we'd have played in similar circles, not age group, but team wise, and them community clubs you go to, all the other clubs are very family orientated as well. I think rugby league's quite good at that, isn't it?
Yeah, and to be honest, John, it's you sort of take it for granted when you're a kid, but you don't know. You're quite naive, aren't you? But it's when you grow up, you realise the amount of people what do things voluntary. What, you know, them clubs would not run without them kind of people involved in the clubs. You know what I mean? And some of them, it's a lot of time and effort out of like the daily jobs and daily life, but they happily do it, don't they? Just because they love it. Yeah. And like you said, them clubs will be nowhere near what they are without them people.
Big time, mate. And was there any deviation away from Haydock, mate, or did Haydock stay your sole amateur club?
They're the ones that I've always played for, John. But obviously, as I grew up, and obviously, kind of like was one of the best there. I kind of always got asked to go to, you know, different clubs like Thatterheath, Blackbrook, just to try and obviously, you know, like better myself for scouts and stuff like that. Which, like we spoke about before, in hindsight, probably would have been a good thing to do for me, as in my career. I might have probably got more eyes on me like that, because at Haydock, really, we didn't really have many scouts, or it was like the main teams. But I wouldn't change it for out, John. I'm happy what I've done and where I've come from.
And you never had an easy game at your place, though, mate, did you? I don't know whether it was because you had to climb through a hole in the fence or whether. No, but that's the beauty, mate, innit? Like, we'd have been places you'd have to walk like 100 yards to a pitch and stuff like that. That's all part of them early learning experiences, isn't it?
Of course it is, mate. Like you said, the gap in the fence, or like you remember.
I was a chubby kid as well, mate. So you know, like you were a bit twitchy.
Oh, but like you say, either that or like you walk to the pitch. You remember them, don't you, when you grow up?
Yeah.
But that's what makes it. That's what you remember the most.
No, it is. It's funny, isn't it? So, do you think maybe if you'd have went to them other clubs, you'd have had the better opportunity? So, would you have had to have played against the likes of them and maybe the Pats and that just to get half a look?
Yeah, like we spoke about before, in hindsight, I probably do think that if I'd have moved to like one of them clubs, I'd have probably maybe got in the system a little bit early. You know what I mean? But I think just at that time, it was a lot of my close mates who I was going to school with, and you know, it was really close. We used to play out with and stuff like that, and I was just comfortable and didn't want. I was happy playing rugby there. We was doing all right, so I was quite settled, and I didn't want any change, you know. But like we say, it probably for my career, it might have been better for me to maybe move on somewhere.
Yeah, but you may not have enjoyed it. It's like you said, it swings and roundabouts, Jordan. It.
Yeah.
So was you always a pivot, mate? Yeah.
Well, I played a few positions when I was younger. I played centre for a bit and then loose forward, but my predominant position's always been half back.
Right. Do you remember them? Did you used to have them flip cards to prove you were the right age in that? Do you
Oh yeah,
remember that? You used to have to line up and stuff.
yeah, yeah. I remember that was mad. That wasn't it? I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
it is.
But
Sorry, mate. They're showing me age.
the other coach used to have to stand you, sure you can't.
Are you
Yeah,
sure you're old enough, mate? You're like,
I forgot about
I'm just chubby.
that.
Right, mate. So in the back end of junior school was town team an option, and which would you be involved with?
Yeah, so I played service area for Saints.
Yeah.
I played a couple of years there. I played with like Danny Craven and that there.
Right.
And did like I think we did like a summer camp at Edgehill. That was with Saints. But like we just spoke about, I don't know if because it was during that time where I sort of got said, well, I'd prefer you to like go here or try, like different clubs, and I never did. And after a couple of years, then I just went out the picture sort of thing. So I don't know whether it was that or it was something else. I'm not too sure.
Probably I'll just give you a little taste. I might haven't need to say if you do that, you get more of this or whatever. But
Yeah,
again, as a kid, you don't see life like that with it. You're innocent, ain't you? You're just
yeah.
enjoying it.
You don't see the bigger picture like that, do you? You know what I mean? It's only when you grow up you look back and think, well, maybe if I had done that or had done that, then maybe things are different. But like you say, I wouldn't change it, John.
How was your transition into high school, mate? What sort of student was you?
Yeah, I was good to be fair, John. Like we said, I literally I'd play any sport whatsoever, and I'd I'd be doing like after school club most nights and just playing different sports. I think I played in high school. I think I played for the rugby team, football team, cricket, basketball. I was just always doing some kind of sport. And education wise, I was never the cleverest as such, but I was always like decent. You know what I mean? I got quite good grades to be fair, and like you say, I think I was when I was up into the senior years, I was in charge of, like all the sports prefects and all that. So I was quite well thought of in the sports department. But that's because I was always doing some kind of sport in school.
Do you reckon that all mate like contributed to helping you be a better rugby player, mate? That's all like the coordination stuff and that, and it them types of sports.
Yeah, it might do, mate. I've never really thought about it like that, but like you said, I've been like that from a kid. Literally every single night, whether it be with my cousins or with my mates, we was out on the front playing some kind of sport around the estate. So that's all I've ever known, to be honest. And I carried that on through high school, and um, it was really good to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I say to people, mate. It's like it's mad. So I want our types of estate. Didn't go in for your tea, did you? Because you weren't allowed back out.
Funny story here, John. Where we used to live, it's like a patch of grass opposite. That's where we used to play. We used to play everything: football, rugby, cricket, and we used to put like our ruddies down as goals for like footy goals.
Or your bike.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
right. So there was a house right directly behind where we used to put the post just to stop. If we scored a goal, the ball from going
I
mad.
see this, mate.
So
Yeah.
the ball was whacking against this wall. So we used to get someone coming out. I think there was an older couple. Looking back now,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean. But she used to always come out saying, "No balls here, no ball games, no ball games."
Stick
So,
a knife in it.
yeah. So the council come and put no ball games post up with a sign on. Well, we used that as one of the other as a post.
A post.
It carried on.
That's class, that mate. So where I live, I lived on, you know, the North Stand at the Witness Ground.
Oh yeah,
So I lived there. So like the old fashioned stadium used to have like big black gates, mate, and it at like 3/4 up, you could see like a weld line that was our crossbar that. And then like you just had like another set of nets at the
yeah.
bottom end of the field, and you just have to like but that's what we done, wasn't it? It's
You
golf
just,
even, you just hit a ball with a driver. None of us knew out about golf.
I know. It's mad, really, isn't it?
Class though, innit? It's class.
We used
So
to go
what was you
when we was younger. We used to go Ashton Golf Club there. We used to be able to get in like the woods at the side, sneak in. And like anyone who hit the ball in, like just go in and rob it. Looking
I
back
bet
now,
they were fuming.
you'd be fuming, wouldn't you? Some little kids you ball.
So what was your school rugby team like, mate? Was it as competitive as Haydock?
I'd say it was different, John. I went to a St Smith in Ashton, mate. So we was Wigan schools. So we had some good rugby players there, to be fair. But I mean, we was quite good, to be fair. We won quite a few Wigan schools, and we got quite far in one of the national comps. We got beat by Wade Deacon actually. I think in the quarterfinals, something like that. But it was mad. It was mad school rugby because you could have like obviously lads who played rugby outside would play, but then you have lads who like would play football who were joining, but they was half decent. You know what I mean? And lads who have never played rugby before would try it, and they were good. It had some like good lads. It was mad how it worked.
And I suppose it's probably, again, without knowing it, Jord, it's probably a nice break from the rigour of disciplined and structured rugby. I know it probably weren't really that structured when we were younger, mate. You were a bit of a drop off here or a Kiwi there, one in.
Yeah.
But like, it was probably just a nice change that you could just go out and play off the cuff, maybe.
That's what it was, John. It was just school rugby, like you say. You'd have a at club rugby, you'd have a little bit of structure, but like you say, back then there was none of this. Like there was a little bit of drop off now and then, but like you say, school was just a bit of a free for all, really. You just have to play off the cuff, you know what I mean? And like you say, sometimes it's good to have that sort of break, isn't it? And you probably part of my game growing up now is probably something I learned from that, like off the cuff stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just playing what's in front of you, sort of thing.
But you probably don't like realise that.
No. And what was the school's attitude like, George? So, like, our school, if you wanted to play rugby league, you had to play rugby union.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't do any kind of union at ours. But with, I think just as long as you weren't being bad, like in lessons and stuff like that, I think there was all for you playing whatever you wanted. But obviously, like for likes of me and a couple of my mates, we try anything. We play most of the teams, so it was never a problem with us, and we was all like quite well behaved in classes and stuff like that. So it was never really a problem.
So, when you're playing for St Service area, you're playing against most of your lads from school because it's a Wigan school.
Yeah, we played against a few. I can't remember exactly who was in back then. Quite a while ago now, John. But yeah, I probably will. And likes of trying to think now who we played against, like Wigan school wise. I think like Ian Thornley, he went to Birchall.
Right.
Sam Tompkins' brother, is it Logan Tompkins? I think he was Standish, a school in Standish, something like that. So we played against some like lads who went to do well. You know what I mean? But I can't remember exactly who. Like
You only play like 5 games at service area, don't you? Or we did. It's no longer a thing now, which I think's a shame. But
yeah, so I think some years, John, we didn't even play that. I think it was like 3 or 4 games, something like
did
that.
you?
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if it happened at your age, but Wigan and Leigh combined at my age.
Yeah, I think man, it was just still Wigan.
Was it?
I
think they got like the better Leigh, like Leigh play, like Leigh's play. So the best that I remember, so it's not being rude to anyone that might watch or listen, but is like, Ben Davis.
Oh yeah.
So he was like Leigh's best player, but he ended up going to Wigan and then he stayed in and around the Wigan setup then. So I don't know whether they half done it for that, because maybe Leigh weren't too bothered.
Yeah.
So they used it like that. Yeah.
I only ever remember playing. I think we played Wigan. I think we played Widnes, and I think we played Warrington.
Yeah.
I think they were the only ever we used to, because I remember playing. What was the old? Is it the old ICR, the old West Bank ground?
Yeah, yeah.
Quite a few.
Right, yeah, that's where we were based from. Yeah, that club's not there now. I don't know if you know that.
They've been knocked down. That now.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a council change and things, but it's just football's took witness over, really, mate.
How's that?
Yeah, there's footy pitches everywhere, but no. So we'd have played Oldham. We played Saints, Wigan, Warrington, Salford.
Did you?
Salford like had a good team my age. Yeah, it's like it's not Eccles anymore, but it was Eccles then.
Yeah.
Was it Eccles when you were playing?
No, I don't remember. I don't
The
remember.
Roosters or something like that they're called now.
Are
But
they?
it used to be Eccles. But Salford were good. So we'd play 5 games, mate. Like 3 at home, 2 away, and then the other year it'd be whatever.
Yeah.
But you didn't deviate from them
No, yeah,
like half and rugby league teams in it, really.
yeah. It was the same when I was young, but just a few less. I mean, just them few.
What was rugby getting like at Haydock as you're getting older? When did you start to think it was a bit serious and about winning rather than just enjoying it? Or did you never feel that way?
Um, to be honest, mate, we had when we was about. I went to the open age when I was 16. I think that was because we sort of when we got to that age. I think it was on about folding. I think we did fold. So then we didn't have any other age to go to. We didn't have like an under 18s or anything like that. So it was just straight to the open age then. I think it was
It's a
probably,
big step, that, mate, isn't it?
yeah, I think it was probably then, John, to be honest.
Right.
Before then, obviously you want to win, but I don't think it was like that serious, you know what I mean? But obviously
Yeah.
when you started playing with the blokes and that, then that's when you realise sort of, right, that this is it here now, do out to win sort of thing.
Yeah. Do you think it helped you that being exposed to men's rugby early?
Yeah, in hindsight,
Yeah.
maybe it did, yeah. Like I remember the first game and like the physicality, like a little bit of a back tech, you know what I mean? But I think played quite well in the first game. I think I scored 2 or something like that. Um, and but like you say, it's a big step that you literally still
Yeah.
a kid yourself, really, are you at 16?
You still are, definitely are, mate. Yeah.
And like you say, you have some, especially it was quite. I think I played for the second team at Haydock. That was my first game, and I can't think who we played now, but like in the second team, you'd have like just some grubs, wouldn't you? You just were there just for like give you,
Mark Arts and that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
guys who just like want to rough it up. I think that's what sort of like made me think, bloody hell, here we go. Here's the step, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So leaving school then, mate. What were your thought process around leaving? Was it further education, apprenticeship, job, and was rugby always going to become a part of that?
Yeah, but like I say, I always thought rugby and obviously strive to be whatever I could. But it's sort of I always wanted to do something with sport. So I went to college and did like a sports development and coaching diploma. Did 2 years at St Helens College, and then I stayed on for a further year doing. I did a fitness instructing course, but while I was there, like I got my first job and obviously started earning money, and sort of obviously I had responsibilities and that, start paying things and paying my own way, and sort of the rugby didn't get put on the back burner as such, but sort of going from like,
It's not the most important anymore.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You sort of
Yeah.
realize,
Sorry to interrupt you then, mate.
yeah,
Sorry.
you
Yeah.
sort of realize life a bit more, don't you? And like
Yeah.
what it entails, sort of thing.
You did a lot younger than me, to be fair, mate. I didn't really think about that till like my mid-20s, and then I had to stop playing like 26, 27. So it doesn't half hit you, but like we said before, life happens, doesn't it? You get little daft things, I think, mate. It's like a phone contract, and then driving lessons, and
Yeah,
then you test even like. Mate, I was speaking to an apprentice in our place, mate. 150 I paid for 10 lessons. They're paying like nearly 40 quid a lesson.
I know it's madness, isn't it?
It is, mate. I was like, I couldn't have afforded that.
But like you say, even back then at them prices, you're still thinking about, well, this I need to pay this, I need to do that, I need to do that, don't you? And
Not enough for the nightclub at the weekend.
yeah,
Sneaking in your school shoes.
I've got a tenner for unlimited drinks in like venue or like that the weekend.
Just scrape it together with your slummy.
Yeah,
So is that the type of club that say I'm not saying you was, mate, it's just hypothetically, but say you were struggling for work or was the people there to go, oh, you can labour for that guy, or I know someone that can do this, and
I mean, when I was younger like that, probably not, because you don't sort of, because we'd stepped up from like 16 to open age, you only sort of getting to know them blokes just then, you know what I mean? So you don't really know what they do, or like what you, because you're basically new, aren't you, into like work, so you don't really have any experience doing anything. But like I said, now obviously a young lad now, you probably lads there who have like their own business and stuff like that, who could help out, you know what I mean? But back then you don't really, you just get on with it, don't you? You don't really think of,
yeah.
and like you say, you have no experience really already because you're only 16, 17.
That's it. And I seem to remember like people maybe leaving a job on a Friday and starting a new one Monday. That's just not the case anymore either, is it? So it's
No,
probably not really people out of work back then either. So on the back of the Saint stuff, George, did no scholarship offers come, mate? And did that, if it didn't, did it dishearten you?
no, back of the service house stuff. I just went back to Haydock, and carried on there. To be honest, like I say, it might have been because obviously I didn't switch clubs. That I don't know, but I got when I was 17. He was a coach at the time. He's one of my good mates now, Jason Roach, who's played for Saints and Castleford. He knew the coach down at Leigh Reserves, a fellow called Simon Knox. I think he played with him back in the day, I think. And I think he got in contact with him to sort of, see if we could go down for a trial. So I remember Roach picking me up and taking us down. And I remember the first session we did like, we done the session. It was a bit of fit pre-season. We'd done the session, and then we done this like fitness drill at the end where it was like sideline to sideline, but you had to do like 100. We had to do 50 each. And I was only 17 at the time, a little bit chubby, and I was thinking after the session, I thought, oh my God, what on earth has he brought me to here? I was nearly out at Leigh East.
Yeah.
But I stuck at it, and I signed there when I was 17. I signed a pro contract there at Leigh, for 2 years. But in the first year, like I say, I was doing all right. I was like, I think Paul Rowley was the coach at the time, the first team coach, and Knocker was my coach at the reserves. But we was having quite a lot of first team lads drop down playing for us, so that was good to have that experience.
Yeah.
Doing quite well. Back then, John, we sort of first team and the reserve trained like near enough together, like a Paul stuff.
Yeah.
So it was always in and around the first team lads. And I remember one training session, Paul Rowley had put me. He asked me to train with him, and then remember, was it Northern Rail Cup you used to have at Blackpool?
Yeah.
You used to have like a nines tournament before, didn't they? The day before at Blackpool Rugby Union. He asked me to play like for the. I never played for the first team. I just played for him like in this tournament, like at 17, so I was buzzing with that.
Good exposure, all that, mate, innit?
Yeah, it was really all. Obviously, the teams what weren't in the cup final, they all played in the nines, but they were playing like the first team lads. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was a tough day, but it was like you said, good exposure.
Yeah. No, that's boss that, mate. And was it the old cookery gear, the dead heavy stuff? Remember that? It was that kit. Yeah.
That cookery, yeah, it was, to be fair.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
Simon Knox played for Witness, mate. He was in the team that got us promoted
Oh,
into
was it?
Super League. But yeah. But no, I remember that kit. Because so would that have been Hilton Park? Because Leigh East used to share like the car park.
Well,
Was it the LFB at this point?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the year before they just moved to Liverpool, Leigh Sports Village. Yeah.
Yeah. That's class, though, mate. So was you walking around in all the gear in that? I would
Yeah,
have.
all the gear,
The trackies and that.
down to like down here and all that.
Yeah, did you have longer?
Well, yeah, not like down to my shoulders, but like
Yeah, like the surface sort of stuff.
yeah, like a surfer.
I
Like
couldn't grow it, me.
look back now and think, oh my
Yeah.
God.
But it's just like I heard something on another podcast. It's literally it's a moment of time. That's just how it was, wasn't it? If you could grow it and have the patience, mate, like everyone was doing it, weren't they?
that it was just
So,
the thing, John. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. So what's it like rubbing shoulders with like a professional outfit, mate, when you might have semi thought your opportunity might have gone. You've gone back to Haydock, that's home, isn't it? Really, you've got comfy, you're getting to know people, and then you're thrust back into because it is a professional environment, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing what I probably found was like obviously like, and no disrespect to Haydock or any amateur club, you could sort of turn up to training there and sort of like just go through the motions and get through it. You know what I mean? But at like your higher clubs, you've got to be switched on. You know, even at training, you get found out, you get made look daft, don't you? You know what I mean? But I think it was that sort of concentration level where from the minute of turning up, you've got to be on sort of thing, and it probably helped me back then being so young because I sort of carry that on with me now. To every little detail, like making sure like the gym's tidy after we finish. Just like little detail like that. But that's been like drummed in me from a young age, so it's probably a good thing that I was exposed that early.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Would you have had it in your jaw to maybe like pull on the 6, 7, or maybe even the full backstop and go, in this position, I can see this. What are you seeing? Because that weren't encouraged back then, mate, was it? The social media weren't big in that sort of thing up, and these presentations for your first jersey or your thousandths weren't about, was they? It was just
No,
talk and gestures, really.
yeah, it was to be fair. There was, like you said, there's none of that back then, was there? But
No,
I think obviously now it's quite big, and I think it's quite good to be fair. It's like you say, if it's your 100th game or something, um, it makes you remember it, doesn't it? Makes you feel special, like having your family in the changing room or getting presented your shirt off someone. Um, like you say, it weren't a thing back then, John, was it? You just sort of on with it, didn't you?
yeah. So, but would you have been comfortable as a 17, 18-year-old, like shadowing someone and asking questions? Because I know I wouldn't have been, but I never got that level anywhere. But would you have been all right doing that?
Probably not, John. 'Cause like I say, I was a guy when I was younger. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you sort of just crack on, don't you? And you're a little bit sort of not. I wouldn't say scared, but just a little bit like I don't want to ask these questions. No, I don't want to look daft. I'll just crack on and I'll just do what others are doing, sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I imagine that because you're just in the environment. You don't. It's sort of like I explain to people, mate. As kids, maybe you were the same. It's if you were in other houses or other company, you're seen, not heard, aren't you?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and I'd have probably felt like that as well, especially if like you're a young lad in that sort of room or training field. You just want to be seen, not heard.
yeah, definitely. And you
Yeah.
think, don't you, like what can I say to him that he's gonna think, well, yeah, do you know what? He's right. He's probably just gonna say, do one like, yeah,
Yeah, the polite way.
yeah,
Right. So how did the spell with the Leigh reserves go, mate? And why
yeah.
why did it come to an end?
Like I say, I was 17 when I signed, and I was doing well. And I ruptured my ACL training. When I, back end was when I was 17, just before I turned 18. Um, and they thought when I'd done it, they thought I was quite lucky in a way because I was signed. I signed, so I went through private, like with my operation and stuff like that. But at first they thought it was just my meniscus, so I'd need keyhole surgery and it'd be maybe 6 to 8 weeks done, back to rehab. You know what I mean? Done. But when I remember when I went to have keyhole, I'd come round off the anaesthetic, and he said no, he said yeah, your cruciate ligament's completely ruptured. He said you're gonna need a full knee reconstruction, like. So I had weeks of like consultations in Manchester. Bless me, mum, like I weren't driving then, so she'd ferry me around to Manchester all the time, for these appointments. Uh, with this Olympic surgeon, he was good. He was good, to be fair, and I had that done, and I was out for about 14 months, something like that, 13, 14 months. And to be fair to them, they done all my rehab and got me back playing. But I think it's just sort of because I hadn't played for the full year, and that when it comes to like renewals, then I just sort of weren't in the picture. So I went back to amateur.
So how first of all, mate, when I've been quite lucky with the serious stuff like that, but did you know instantly it was bad?
Yeah, because I tried to. I remember I tried to get up, and I thought I felt something in my knee, and I tried to get up and thought, surely can't be out this, and it was literally like I was stood on my leg, on my right leg. I thought it was just completely numb, and I thought I'd try and I couldn't walk on it, and later that night I wouldn't go to A&E straight away because I thought I'll just ice it, and just see it be all right. And late in the night, it just ballooned my knee, and I was in agony with it. And I thought I've done something here, you know what I mean? And it lasted like that for a couple of weeks. The swelling just won't go down, and so I kind of had a little bit of hope when they said it. They just think it's cartilage when the specialist said that, but give me a little bit of hope. And obviously, when he said that, it was no good sort of thing. Then I mean, not lucky, but I think doing it back then sort of didn't have the kind of knowledge of what it actually was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just the injury to me. But obviously, growing up, you know yourself, it can be a potential career-ending injury. That got me there. I was only 18, so I didn't really think that way. I just thought I'll get it back and I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a blessing. That, and like you said, thankfully you still had a year to run or a bit more, so you were still under contract and not sort of pushed to the side and that.
Yeah.
And when you're a young lad as well, mate, and that type of rehab is upon you and that, how do you cope with that? Is this the first time you've probably been tested in that, really?
Yeah. To be fair, even back then, like you say, even though I was a young lad, it's horrible. You know, you go into bed and all the lads are going on the field, and you're going in the physio room doing things, especially for like 12, 13 months of it. You know, you get to a point where you think, I just want to be back playing or whatnot, but it's one of them injuries where you can't sort of rush it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luckily,
had you been lucky up until then as well?
Yeah, I'd not anything up until then, John. To be honest,
imagine that being your first one. Like, well, you can, but that's so unlucky, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I played with a lad at Leigh there. He's from St Helens, Jamie Smith, and he was a good player, Jamie. And he was playing at Leigh at the time, and I think he'd done his right one, and he'd had a bit of complication with it, and he come back. I think the first game he come back, he did his left one.
I thought that my mate done that.
I know, but they say, don't they, because you're injured one that much, you sort of neglect the other one, don't you? And that can be suspect. But
the lad I know, mate, it's done both and then done one of them twice.
Has it?
Yeah, it's like he didn't play again then, like, and we were young when he done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, I don't know. I find it a bit like sickening when you see someone in a heap as well. It's one thing going down in it, but you know when you see, like, you know the difference, mate. Don't you? Like, you no doubt you've seen nasty, and you know the way someone's holding themselves. You're like, oh, not again, aren't you? And must be horrible.
You know straight away that they know, don't you? It's mad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like by their reaction or like the face, they've done something serious because they know their own body, don't they?
Yeah, and you just see colour drain or the eyes, don't you? And
like you say, it's sickening for you seeing that.
Yeah, no, it's not nice, mate. So on the back of that, mate, and rehabbing, and did you get completely fit before you went back to Haydock?
Yeah, I got back playing. I got back playing at Leigh. I think I had a couple of games towards the back end, and then I was back at Haydock then.
So you know that first game back, mate. I don't know if you can remember. Is there a little bit about it, a niggle in your head, like about maybe a bit of footwork or a late hit or something?
Yeah, I think he had that for quite a bit, John. To be honest, I think there's just a little bit of doubt because even though it's mad because when you're doing your rehab, you're doing like massive change of direction stuff, and you know you're proper putting your knee through hell basically. But then when you get into that game, it's something different. What you think, you doubt yourself. You know, what if I'm like breaking through and someone like, you know, comes from the side, and you have all kind of like scenarios in your head. And after an injury, it's quite hard not to have. You know.
Yeah. And it's mad, isn't it? Because we all say, especially when you've played at the levels you have, you could be as fit as you want, mate, but you probably never match fit, are you?
No, no, you, like,
And that's probably the case with that.
yeah, I say it all the time, John. And as good as pre-season is, it does get you fit, but it never gets you match fit. Everybody, and everybody that first game back is blowing in some way or another, even though they've done all the fitness possible in pre-season. Like, it's a total different type of fitness, John, isn't it? You know?
That's it, yeah. And your body's readjusting to being it again
Yeah,
and
definitely.
things like that, and it and how you're hitting the floor and things, mate. It is fair. And you understand if you've played, don't you?
Yeah,
Maybe like the Specky doesn't really know if he's not played after he was 16 or something. That's no disrespect to anyone that hasn't. It's
no, no.
just it's different, isn't it?
Like you said, it. Someone who's never played can just say, "Well, you need to do this or you need to do that," but it's like you say, it's the hits and the getting up off the floor and all the little things what someone who's never played I don't really see, do they? You know?
Oh, yeah. So how long was you back at Haydock, mate, before you really started establishing yourself? It's like I said off recordings. I remember you getting mentioned when I played for Out and Hornets against you, and it was like, be wary of George, like George can play.
Yeah.
So how long until you really felt comfortable and established?
But I think I've been there a few years and we'd really started getting like a decent team together. We was all like close mates, to be honest. And like a few of the younger boys, younger than me, had sort of like been let go from like scholarships and stuff like that. And obviously we knew each other. A couple of the older boys were still there, who were decent. And we sort of just started like gelling as a team and we started all hanging about together and like just the feel around the team was really good. But we was realistic. It was like a pub team, but like a really good pub team. You know what I mean? We had some,
You were the team to beat for a while, mate, weren't you?
yeah, and we went on like some good
Yeah,
in the cup and that. Uh,
yeah.
we really had some success like over the years. But I think that was like when I was in like my mid 20s, I think. So it'd be like the last couple 2 to 3 years when I was there before obviously I moved on. Um, yeah, we had a really good team there, and like you say, we was all best mates, so we was all happy doing what we was doing.
No, but I'll remember lots, mate, because you like to keep you together because, and that's not a piss take, sorry. It's just that you were the team to beat, so surely people were looking at you.
In here, that John, I don't think so. No brown envelope.
Yeah, no, it's just you
Four
just
pints,
don't know, mate. Yeah,
4 pints behind bar.
hey, that's enough for me, that mate. A couple of ciders and
Oh,
I'll
oh,
recommit.
good.
Yeah, but no, because you were like I say about the pro game, mate, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone. I've never played that level or your level and that, but it's like it's relentless in it. It's who stays in that fight longer in it, who's willing to do set for set for as long as they can before someone gets either fatigued or misreads.
Yeah.
And like yous were good at that at Haydock. I thought yous were like you threw the ball about, but you didn't get bored of doing it, even if it was like 6-6, 0-0, or someone was slightly winning, because it was never big margins when I played against you. You just didn't get bored of sticking with it. Not a lot of amateur teams do that.
You know, like you said, in the pro game, that's what it is about, isn't it? Obviously, what's the NRL like grand final, just literally set for set until somebody breaks. But I think at Haydock we was good at that. Obviously, I had quite a decent kicking game, so it sort of got us out of trouble when and as we needed. But I think at Haydock we had quite a few spark players who could just make something out of nothing. We had quite a few lads like big speed. And they could literally score from anywhere. And I think we kind of knew that, and just thought, if we just keep in a game with someone, we have that strike to just score when we do like. Um, but I think having that mix of like sort of we had younger lads, we had like a couple of us who were like middle, and then we still had some of the older boys in, to sort of like rein us in when we needed to.
The
Uh,
ideal mix, that in it.
yeah, I think it was just a
Yeah,
perfect mix what we had at the time, to be honest.
right. And when did you grow into being vocal? And it is with you being a shy kid, was it something that may become a bit easier when you got older, or is it something you grew into?
Yeah, I think I sort of obviously playing with lads who I know, and like my mate sort of thing. It sort of helped a little bit, because back when I was younger, I'd never seen myself like shouting at someone for not doing that, but that's what I become. You know what I mean? Obviously on the pitch, that's what, obviously me being an halfback, sometimes that's what you have to do, isn't it? You know, sort of like the general sort of role. But yeah, I think I sort of grew into that, John. To be honest, it was never always in me. It was never one of them, because, like you say, I was quite shy. But I think it made it easier being with lads who obviously I knew, and they knew that I wasn't doing that in like an arrogant way, or I was just doing it, you know, just for the game.
Doing your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, mate. And when you did move into the semi-pro game, maybe if Haydock was national conference never spoke about, because Haydock's got a good junior section, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think we was always restricted, John, because obviously where we play, we don't have our own clubhouse or like a surround on the pitch, so
Yeah.
I don't think we could ever go into like conference, because you need them. I think you need them facilities. I think.
Some like the little bit of a like Crossfields have defence and West Bank and that now,
Yeah.
don't they, and stuff. Yeah. So, but would that have maybe entice you to stay a little bit, or would you have always had a little pop at the semi-pro when it come?
To be honest, John, I think sort of work got in the way as well. I
Right.
worked at Fiddler's Ferry for like 8 or 9 years.
All right.
Yeah, like doing shifts there. So sort of couldn't really commit, you know, to the train. Like at Haydock, I could miss like a Tuesday if I was working, and then, you know, turn up. That was okay, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
at like the semi-pro level, you can't really do that, you know. It's totally, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that, mate. So amateur-wise, did no Barlow tours come along for you out like that, mate?
Yeah, I went on with Northwest Men, so the league what we were in.
Yeah.
Um, we went to I've been to Canada twice with them.
Also, did you go with Millie that
Yeah,
year and
this year.
Leighton and that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Went with Millie, Batesy, Macca,
yeah.
all them lads from Widnes. But Canada twice. I went to Serbia. That was with Lancashire. That.
Yeah.
Where else? We went to Italy, and then I got picked for Bala and went to Fiji with Bala. I
So,
can't,
like,
can't remember.
how good's that though? So, if your papa had went another way, Joe, you just wouldn't have been eligible for that.
No, like I said, when
Places that people just don't go, mate. It's class that.
yeah, like when people ask, Mike, obviously, do you not wish you sort of got into the pro game a little bit sooner? And part of me does, you know. I'm not going to lie, part of me, but part of me thinks, well, I wouldn't have had all that what I have if I had done. So I wouldn't change it, you know.
Well, that's boss. That's so. What sort of thing do you have to do, mate? Do you have to fundraise for yourself? How do the logistics of getting picked for that work? What channels did you have to go through?
Yeah, so obviously you have to go for trials and stuff to get picked
Yeah.
in the first place, and then obviously when you get picked, you basically have to fund for your trip. Now, to be fair, mate, near enough, I'd say probably every trip, that were absolutely brilliant. And one of my best mates, Danny G, he was absolutely outstanding. I don't think he ever paid a penny out of my own money for the trips. They do like
That's class though, isn't it? I know you're representing them, but that's still brilliant, isn't it?
they'd like put like charity boxing nights on and do nights and that for me. And you know, I could never thank them people enough. They know it, like, you know, I
Yeah.
made that I appreciate
Did you
it.
throw the gloves on, mate? Did you?
Yeah, twice,
That, there's that.
twice, yeah. One of my good mates once as well.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Ended up in the draw though. That, but
Yeah, it's a good
still,
job, isn't it?
still speak to him now. Never do that again.
No, do you know what? I find it hard playing against me, mates. Never mind, like having a fight with them.
Yeah, it was horrible, mate. Honestly, it was the worst thing.
The ring walk and that, George. Yeah, that's horrid. That. What was your song?
I think it was something that I think it was like a dance tune, something like Axel Ingrosso, like old school like dance music. Yeah, well, they're good nights, them though. Obviously, when you're involved in it, you're nervous, like, you know what I mean. But
I'd
when
be
you,
shitting myself, mate. Me.
yeah, it's bad.
Do you know what? I've never been one, mate, but they do look boss.
Yeah, I mean, the first one that I done, I thought, yeah, I'd done a bit of training and that for it. Like one of my best mates, Josh Owen, him and his stepdad, he's trained like pro like fighters on pads and that. So I thought I'm gonna have to do a bit here, before I get in this ring.
I thought, like, you know what you're on about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 80 minutes of rugby, not a problem. I get in like my first boxing session. I'm like spewing up all over the gym. I couldn't like do 2 rounds. Never mind. Fight.
Mate, that's it, innit? It's just different discipline, innit?
Yeah, totally different type. But yeah,
Probably unloaded as well, to be fair. Think he like probably throwing haymakers wild and that. It's just unsustainable. But when you're in watching it from home, you think you can, can't you?
yeah. And then, like you said, when I think we was like maybe 4th or 5th fight on something like that. I can't remember exactly, but like the first 3 fights before it were brutal, like knockouts and that. And I stood there thinking, Jesus
At
Christ,
a
what?
charity event, yeah.
Yeah, what am I doing here? Like best mates, like fighting each other and stuff like that, like going out for leather.
That's mad, that, innit? So yeah, so do you remember where your trials was and what are you like in that environment, mate, in a new environment? Are you now you found yourself in what you do? Is it easier for you?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly where the trials were, John. But I mean, I've never really been a fan of like trials. I think obviously you get people from same clubs who sort of like work together and that. I think like the best way of doing that is probably like whoever like the coaching staff are for that tour or whatever. Just go to and watch the club games, and just watch them
Yeah.
instead of like in just a one-off game.
Yeah. Watch them in a natural environment
Yeah,
as well, where you're
yeah,
comfiest and stuff.
like a few weeks and just a normal game just for the club.
Yeah, I
Then
agree with that, mate.
them trial games, you can just people who might be the best player in the world might not touch the ball because
Yeah,
three players from one team on one team.
yeah, yeah. No. So what are them sorts? What stands out for you, mate? Because do you get downtime and you get a bit of like touristy stuff to do and that, don't you?
Yeah, they're brilliant to be honest, John. Like you said, some parts of the world what you probably would never do without rugby, and like the lads we spoke about before, Millie and Macca and Batesy. I went to Batesy's wedding the other month, and it's just people you get in touch with and stay in touch with over the years. What you go on then?
Yeah. No, and that's exactly the rugby. Really is a nice bonus, but that's what it's about, mate. Innit?
Yeah,
Networking, making mates from other clubs that you probably don't speak to after you've knocked the hell out of each other.
yeah, definitely.
And I've no doubt we'll talk about it. Like, but do you know what I find mad, mate? Right? Is like out and on at somewhere, play at Haydock or something. You'll sit down, have some food, like mingle a little bit, and then go home. You know when you go like the semi-pro or the pro game, just get grub and get off, don't they?
Yeah,
Shower, grub and off.
yeah, none of
I
that.
was like, yeah, where's like the other bit? And it just doesn't exist.
No, there's none of that, mate. Is there?
Yeah, it baffles me that though. Plus, in like maybe the semi-pro game not as much, but if you like are sending over and you've worked that morning or the night before, you don't really want to be hanging around. I get that now.
Yeah, like you say, when you've been, it's different because sort of like in the amateur game, you sort of you sort of play for that like pint after the game, right? On a
Yeah,
Saturday, or go out on the night with your mates. But it's different at the program, and you're there to be professional and do a job, aren't you? So, and like you say, if you've been working all week, and majority of them games in the pro game now are Sundays, aren't they? So, you're back up for work the next morning, so you don't really want to hang around with, do you? You want to get home and
yeah. No, so how did you move to the North Wales Crusaders come about, mate? And was anyone else keen who does? How does it work? Yeah, I've no doubt you didn't have an agent did you at this point?
no, I've never had one, John. To be honest,
Right.
it was me coach at Haydock at the time, Chris Smith. I think he knew Muzzer, Anthony Murray, who was a coach at North Wales, and I think Muzzer had been on to him about he needed a halfback. I think one of the arse had left or was leaving. So Smiggy put me on to Muzzer, and I met up with him, and I met him and sat. I think most lads were on just pay as you play then.
Right.
But I was happy for that. I'd gone from
Yeah.
I'd gone from like paying subs at Haydock to getting a bit of cash for a game. So Muzzer gave me a chance at North Wales, and he stuck by me. To be honest, I played quite well, to be fair. But it was the first year was when obviously COVID. The season was only a couple of games, so it was a bit of a nightmare really. Because I'd started off well, you know, and I was starting games for him, and I was just learning. I was learning new stuff, and because me coming through at Haydock, it was never really, even at Haydock, it was never really structured or you know, the system and play. So I was kind of new to that, and I had to kind of learn all the system, like linking your forwards with like your outside backs and stuff like that. But I just started learning it, and obviously then that kicked in. It wasn't at the best of time, but obviously I stayed there for 3 years then, and they were great 3 years. Really enjoyed it under Muzzer. He was a great coach, and I learnt a lot from him. Like,
what's it like when you see your name on the back of a jersey, mate? Is that when your first proper moment and you're like, oh, I've cracked it here?
Yeah, it's a little thing,
Yeah.
John, but it makes you think, doesn't it? Do you know what? I've got somewhere here, to be fair. And then playing at stadiums where, you know, you've watched like teams play at in the past and think, I'm actually doing all right here. I'm doing all right.
Yeah. And I'm quite sentimental, mate. I'd probably keep a few little things. Are you like that, or are you more a memory man without the jerseys and stuff?
No, yeah, obviously like photos and stuff, and my jersey we played for, I keep all them. My partner's due. We're having a little boy in January, so
Congratulations, mate.
thanks, mate. It's obviously want to show like my kids, obviously when I get too old and they grow up and realise, you know, it was all right back in.
Do a bit, yeah. No, it's good that I think that's class, mate. And your journey's unorthodox as well. You've earned the right to do that.
Yeah, I think obviously, like you said, it's something to look back on, isn't it? And think, you know what, I've done this, I've done that. You know, not many people are fortunate to do what we do, are they? You know, and there's quite a lot of people who strive to do it.
Mate, you're living someone's dream, mate, aren't you, as well as your own? Someone else is like, I wish I could do what Jordy's doing.
100%, yeah, and I realise that, John, and you know, I never take out for granted. So I always keep like little things like that, to be honest.
Honest, mate. And what's it like chatting contracts, mate? Because I suppose that's when you see the business side of the sport as well. When all you grew up is just the playing side, and you've never had to really worry.
Yeah, especially not having an agent and that. You know, you've got to do it yourself, haven't you? But at first, it's quite like, well, you sort of like, because you're not used to it, you sort of like, you just probably take anything. You know, what'll come on.
They know that as well, don't they?
Yeah. That, they know that, don't they? And try, but like you said, because I was quite new to the thing, I was just like, yeah, I'm happy with that. But
I'll take that mill. Yeah, I'll just take that.
like you said, younger me getting to the pro game, I probably would have an agent because they just do it for you, don't they? But obviously, my age now, I can just, I'm old enough and wise enough now. I can just sort things out.
That's the thing, innit? It's maturity, mate. It's come on it. You've earned the right to negotiate your own stuff and that. And I suppose, yeah, I think you're right. If it's no offense, like if it's a younger lad, there's probably little T's and C's and like image stuff and like if you want me to do media, I want this in there. There's probably all the tedious stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, thankfully you're still playing because you love it with a bit of money with it.
yeah, and it does happen, John. Don't it? You know, you see young lads nothing, but they're happy to do that because they don't really know. Like you only realise when you mature, don't you? Like the ins and outs of and what does go on. So, yeah,
yeah. Right, mate. And why did the end of Crusaders come about, and was it mutual?
yeah. Well, to be honest, my last year at Crusaders, halfway through the year, I got a knee injury, but my other knee, my left knee, this time, and I thought I'd done my ACL again. I thought my ACL again, my left knee. So I was having rehab on it, and I think it was a little bit like short on numbers or short in my position, something like that. So I remember going to training one session, and the physio had a look at me and I said, I'm fine, I'm fine. I knew I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I hobbled all around training, and I said to him, I said, I'm fine, play me on the weekend, I'm fine. And I played anyway. I think I come off the bench. I think I started on the bench and come off the bench, and played. I think it was half hour, 40 minutes. And I just knew, John. I just knew something wasn't right. You know your own body, and I went. A lad called Cy Atherton was the physio at Crusaders, and he helped me massively. To be honest, I think he works at Wigan Hospital or something like that. But he messaged me and said, obviously he knew that like the NHS waiting times for like an MRI and that would be quite substantial. Yeah. So he wrote me like a letter to take to my GP, like medical terms and stuff like that. This letter, and it got me in for MRI within like 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, so this MRI's come back, meniscus tear and partial ACL tear in my left knee. So now, obviously, get on the phone.
Dread, innit?
Yeah, especially at what age would I have been then? I think I was 28, 29 then. So I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking, well, that could possibly be me, you know. So obviously, I didn't play the rest of that year. And Simon, he got me in touch with a specialist at Wigan. And the specialist basically said to me, he had a look at the MRI scan, and he said, it does show partial tear and meniscus, but he said, I think you can just rehab it and get back. And Simon put me in like loads of these classes, like ACL classes and stuff like that. He really went out of his way to help me, and I'll always be grateful to him for that. And I got back fit, and I felt quite good. And in the meantime, Alan Coleman, who is Widnes' head coach now, he'd been in touch with me the year before that when I was at Crusaders, saying that he wanted to sign me at Swinton. Because of obviously the COVID year, I wanted to give Muzzer a full year, because obviously it give me a chance, you know. And I'm a bit like that, me, John. I'm a bit like, I'm quite loyal, you know, to people who give me a chance.
I like that, mate. Yeah.
So I said, listen, I really appreciate your offer, but I want to give Muzz a full year here at Crusaders. He's been good enough to give me a chance. Not a problem. So I had a decent year, well, half a year, and then I obviously got injured. And Alan said to me, he said, I wanted to sign you this year. He said, but obviously, you know, I'm in a situation now where I can't justify signing you when you. And I said, I completely agree with that. Alan said, no qualm, no problem whatsoever. And anyway, I got back fit. This is when he thought, obviously, I'd need a big operation sort of thing on my knee. And I got back fit, and I said to him, I'm fit. I just need to finish my rehab off, be a couple of months. And to be fair to Alan, and I'll always be grateful to him for this, he took a chance on me, to be fair. He signed me when I still needed a couple of months of rehab, and took a massive chance on me. But that's how it come about. And obviously played a year under Alan. And even though we was in a bit of a relegation fight till the last year, we survived, and a great year. So I hope I paid it. Well, I know I've paid him back a little of what trust he had in me. You know what I mean?
I like it, mate. And obviously, you're not a pup at this point, so like, he's trusted you, and you've trusted him as well. It's not just one way, mate. Yeah, and so it's nice to know that still happens, mate. You know,
yeah, like you say,
business is quite dirty at that level, and it can be, can't it?
Doesn't it? You know, and he could have easily said to me, "Well, I'm not taking a chance. You know, I could probably go and sign somebody else who's fully fit already, and you know, you can jump straight in." But he did, and I've told him that, and he knows that I'll always be grateful to him for that. Because obviously give me a chance to play a championship, that. So I'll be always grateful to him for that.
Yeah, and like you said, you repaid him as well, mate. It's a two-way street. So what's the difference like in standard, mate? What do you notice most?
I think with League One to Champ, I think people ask me this. I think it's like the amount of chances you get, in a game.
No.
Like at Champ, you sort of at League One, you could sort of miss a chance, and then you still maybe get another one, But at Champ, like you miss a chance, and you're down the other end of the field under your own sticks, and you're 12 behind or something like that. It's
It's a 12-point swing, that, isn't it? It's like you said, yeah.
really fine margin, John.
Yeah. So do you know when you are under the pump, Jord, and you're under your own sticks, mate, and you're potentially getting a bit of an hiding or whatever? How do you? Because you're quite key for viewers and listeners that might not know your position. You're an halfback, so you're like the quarterback of rugby league. How
Yeah,
do you keep your team believing or like doing what you want them to do? Because it's hard playing on the back foot, and on the back foot again for viewers and listeners who might not know is when your pack's getting beat a bit in it.
yeah,
It's hard for you to play on the back foot. How do you regenerate like spirit and mood, mate?
yeah. I mean, obviously, I think when you're under the pump, I think that's where like your leaders come out. I think, and like you say, being a half, just try and create something like a little spark, or just try and do something that will just turn the momentum. Because playing in that Champ, that more times than not, it is that momentum swing. You could be all over a team, don't do anything with it, and then they'll go down the other. Just that quick change in momentum that it can change the game ultimately. That, well, like you say, that's where like your leaders and that step up, or you just try and do something yourself that just like energizes the team.
So even at that level, mate, how do you tell lads just to stick to the roles and don't do things you wouldn't normally do? Because at amateur level, it's quite easy, innit? And plus, lads can go and do it. There's no real repercussions on the back of a prop trying to chip and chase, for instance, is there? Well, like at that level, you've got to believe in your process, haven't you?
Yeah, I think at that level, I think more times than not, people in the position know that like you say, it's very rare that you'd see like a prop in the Champ try a chip over, or try and do something out the ordinary. But it's just like reiterating that to him, just stick to what we trained all week to do, stick to our game plan, and obviously it'll come to light in the end, and obviously hopefully it'll work.
So you've enjoyed your time at Swinton, mate. Yeah, it's a nice period of your career.
Yeah, it's been a great period, to be honest, John. 2 years there, I've had 2 years there, and even though it didn't end, obviously I wanted it to at the end with them being relegated this year. Just the club itself, John. To be honest, a lot of people who sort of go unnoticed in the background, and do all the hard work and stuff like that. And it's a great club, a great fan base. And like you said, I've met people there who some of the best people I've met in my career, like backroom staff and like physios, medics, people who just help out, kit men, stuff like that. Just a great club. Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time there, to be honest.
You've not played at a shithole here, Woodrow Diver. It's been done up, so you've been lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
I played there when it was rough, mate. Right, and I know I mentioned this to you off recording, mate, and I'll bring it back up now, but has Rugby Union never knocked on your door?
Like I said, I've only ever I went for a bit of a trial to Preston Grasshoppers. Like I said, I had a bit of a nightmare like with the travel and getting home, so I just didn't go back after that. But I had a couple of games down at LSH, like we spoke about before. Smiggy, my coach at Haydock, knew Andy Norther, who said, "Yeah, bring him down, have a few games." To be fair, I enjoyed it. Yeah, decent group of lads and that, and he enjoyed playing. But I don't know who's to say no in the future. I don't know. I'm always open to. I'll never close
Chat.
the gate. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we move on, mate, just a quick one. What chord did you find you had the more time in?
I'd say rugby union, John. The thing I struggle with, and it's mad. This in rugby union, the thing I found hardest the most was not going back 10.
Yeah. What,
No,
yourself or the fact that he didn't?
no, me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it
I
is
automatically
bizarre.
ran back 10 instead of just staying at the
Yeah,
ruck.
yeah.
Like I couldn't get my head around it. I just kept like running back. It was mad, but um, I just think in rugby league, even though like you say that spacing's a lot closer in rugby union, I think rugby league's just a little bit quicker, isn't it? And
Can be, mate, especially at that level as
at
well.
that
Yeah,
level, yeah, I think
yeah.
so. Like you say, I can't remember what division like Liverpool St Helens were in. It weren't a bad standard, but it felt
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say easy. It weren't easy, but I felt like I had time to just do maybe whatever I wanted to sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, they're in a similar league to the Wids, mate, where like I was based, and it's very much like the top half can beat the top half, but then some of the gaps are pretty big, aren't they? Like
Yeah,
you wouldn't have got out of like winning 40 odd 10 or 50 odd 10, would
no,
you? You
no,
want to learn in them tight games and stuff where, and no offense, like your kicking matters, doesn't it?
yeah,
Whether it's out of hand or goal kicking and that.
yeah.
Yeah,
That to be honest,
right,
John,
mate.
I didn't realise that until I played rugby. I knew it was
Yeah.
obviously a kicking game, but like about territory and stuff like that, you don't sort of realise until
That's
you,
what the average fan don't get, did he? Like Millie's come and done a fair bit with the Wids, mate, and he
yeah,
said he wishes he'd done it a bit earlier,
yeah,
just
definitely,
because there's that many facets to the game and stuff. Like you can constantly compete for the ball. Like I get the kick and clap, you know, like you probably do. You understand
yeah,
people get bored of it and that, but you just want to play the game in the right area, don't you? And they
yeah,
think because you've got unlimited tackles, you can, but you got to earn the right to play that way, haven't you?
yeah,
Have you have in rugby league? Do you know what I mean? But like, if you're lucky enough to have a boot like what you've got, suppose if your pack's not winning the front foot battle, you can sort of get you out of trouble. Not
yeah,
every team has that, Jordy. So you've got
no,
to go to the mate and hope your winger competes. Or
yeah,
it is
yeah.
a it's very different, but the principles are very much the same, aren't they?
It's weird, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's mad.
like same, but there's so many different like details and different ways involved in it, isn't there?
Yeah. So we're near the back end of the chat, mate, and just a quick one is who's had the biggest influence on your career so far? Because it's far from over, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, like I say, John, I'll probably play because I love it that much. I'll probably play until my body says I can't. Biggest influence in my career is definitely my mum. You know, she's been there since obviously day one. She spent, you know, cold mornings, dark nights at training. You know, provided me from being young with everything I've needed. Always new boots or new kits or whatever I've needed. She's always given me. My biggest supporter. Just an absolute wonderful woman who I'll always be grateful for. Obviously, as well, my sisters who I grew up with, they've gone through obviously the highs and lows of what rugby and sport bring. Just always stuck by me and been there. My grandma, who's no longer with us, I looked up to her so much. She'd always come watching. She'd love come watching us, and you'd hear her on the touchline before you'd see her. She'd want to rip
That's
everyone's head
class.
off who was playing against.
Get him on side.
Yeah. Get off his
Brilliant.
head and all that. Yeah, and then obviously my partner now, Alicia. You know, she has to deal with me coming home in moods and stuff like that, and even though I've got better as I've grown up, I sort of don't let it get to me as much now, John. To be honest, there's more to life, isn't there? But
Yes, mate.
yeah, she deals with all that. But yeah, just them really. And obviously, all the coaches just spoke about going back to like my amateur days. From a young age, I had a few coaches there: John Livesley, Mark Halliwell, uh, Phil Hale. Mark and Phil were massive. I think having that respect and carrying it on through all my career, I think they really instilled that in us from a young age. And like we spoke about briefly, just it's only when you grow up you realise people who sort of do everything for like an amateur club. There was a bloke, he's no longer with us now, called Arthur Marsh, and absolute top genuine bloke. He'd do, you wouldn't even realise what he did until you grew up. he'd do absolutely everything, you know, sorting the food out after the game, sorting all like the subs, doing the cards before the game, like you spoke about. Just another great bloke. And then obviously as I grew up, one of my best mates, Danny G, he was a big influence in my career. He used to always like strive me on to be the best, sort of like a role model. He's a few years older than me, but we always looked up to him because he was a decent player himself. And then just a couple more people at open age at Haydock. Roachy and Smiggy, who spoke about. They went out the way to give me them opportunities at the semi-pro level. Eric Smith, he's no longer with us. He was massive chairman at Haydock. Frank Bradshaw, he was the chairman when we was going through that successful point. Jordy G, which is Danny's dad, he's just another one of them genuine blokes who do out for the club, always there to support you. No, just a local fella, just a top guy, and a fella called John Bradbury who he did a lot of, especially when I was getting picked for them tours like we spoke about. He made sure like I never went without, and I was always sorted. And like I say, all them you can just put a net round, just top local genuine blokes who would do out for you at the drop of a hat, you know. So I'll be forever grateful to all of them, to all them people for. And you never forget your roots, John, do you? You know, I'll always remember where I've come from, and I'll take that all the way through my career. What them people have learnt me.
That's classy, that, mate. But no, I like that. Right, I've come to that part of the chat, mate. I've got a few daft questions for you.
Go on, mate.
Right. Any pre-match superstitions, mate?
I don't really have superstitions as such, John. I'm a bit. I don't really like have much to eat, you know, before a game. If we're playing at like 3 o'clock, I'll have like a bit of brekkie in the morning, and then I probably won't eat then until on the night. Not really superstition, but I'm normally pretty like quiet in the changing room. You know, I'm not really one of them who buzzes about and that before a game. I just like being focused and, you know, knowing what I have to do. Like being prepared and knowing what my job is and what I have to do. But apart from that, mate, no superstitions as such.
Right, mate. And this next word is definition different for everyone, mate. You might see it completely different to me and vice versa. But the toughest player you played with and against.
So, I mean, like I say, my memory's not the best, to be honest. And I'll probably think of someone. I think, well, why didn't I say him? But a lad who I play with now, Dougie Chan at Lewis Hall, just he's not the biggest lad. He played, obviously. I've played with him for the best part of 2 years now, and he's not the biggest lad, but he plays in the middle. An absolute cracking lad, but absolutely tough as nails. Bangs people for fun. No, for the size of him, especially in that league, John, Championship. Just plays well above his weight, and you can play him at half if you needed. He's just a competitor. Just always there when you need him. Get stuck in when you need him, but just a great bloke as well. So I'd probably say Dougie on that one.
Yeah. Right, mate. So your favourite away ground?
I've got a bit of a mad one this because I don't think I've ever won there, John. I'd say Odsal. And I only said the reason being is that obviously growing up watching Warrington, we used to always go there, and when Bradford were in the pom, and like
that was some team, that one.
Yeah, and you used to go there, and there used to be like a show on, and like cars driving around, fireworks, and that you used to think, oh my god, you know. And then going from that to playing there, even though it's not the same now, you know, it's not the same, but
iconic though, mate.
That's exactly the word I'm looking for, John. You're playing in the ground, thinking, geez, I was a kid in that stand, you know, years ago. What's in that?
To bump people off like Barnacle.
Yeah, Barnacle or Vicon and all them.
Yeah.
And I'd say that just for that reason. Like I say, I don't think we ever won there, but just like you say, it's an iconic stadium, isn't it? And you remember being a kid there, so I'd probably say Odsal.
If you could go back, mate, and speak to a younger Jordan, what would you tell him?
Probably just what we spoke about. I probably don't get too down. You know, if things don't go your way, obviously no one's career is just all highs and lows in the Rugby League roller coaster, as they say. But probably more than out, mate, I'd probably say when you're a bit younger and you're growing up, you probably think, oh, I've got training, and everyone feels that. But I'd probably say as you grow up, you sort of, I'd just say to, if you're young, and just enjoy every single minute, because it soon creeps up on you, coming towards the back end of your career, or like you say, you're only ever an injury away from your career finishing, aren't you? So, just embrace everything and just enjoy it while you can. You're gonna meet some of the best people of your life playing, and you do, don't you?
You do, mate. Yeah, I like that. So if you were out on the piss, mate, and you've just banged someone out in one of your charity nights, and the microphone ends up in your hand, what are you giving us?
I'd probably say karaoke song, John. I'd probably say Brown Eyed Girl, Van Morrison.
Like it.
Either that or American Pie, but I've gone for Brown Eyed Girl because American Pie has gone for about 9 minutes, isn't it?
It's a long one, yeah.
So I ain't having none of that. Plus that Brown Eyed Girl, there's loads of like a chorus in there, everyone can join in. Yeah, so I'm all about.
You can blend in.
Yeah.
Class, mate. So if you're willing to, a 1 to 13 that you played with so far, mate.
Yeah, so I've gone on this, John. I've gone for like a bit of a mix, to be honest. I've gone for a couple of older blokes who I played with, a couple of lads who I play with now, and then just a couple of lads from amateur who, obviously, I might have played with better players, but just what they meant, obviously, like to me, no being in the team.
Of course, they probably slip through the net as well, mate, haven't they? Because that happened, doesn't it? There's a lot of good talent in that league, mate.
Yeah, and mate, no doubt about it, John. These are decent players in their own right, you know what I mean? But I'll go number one, Tommy Johnson, lad at fullback. I played with at North Wales. Now, I've gone with him because Tommy, he was coming towards sort of like the back end of his career when I played with him at the Crusaders, and he'd lost a bit of pace, but he sort of, he'd be anywhere you need him. He didn't need the pace, He'd any kick through near the line, he'd be there. He'd just be in the right place. Sort of like, not comparing to Wellens, but Wellens didn't really have the best pace, did he? But he'd always be in the right. Yeah, he'd always be in the right place. That was a bit like Tommy, that, and he could bang a goal from anywhere. So yeah, I'll go with Tommy for that. Right. I go number 2 on the wing, John. Yeah. I've gone for Smiggy, one of the older blokes who I spoke about before. Played for I think Saints, Cass, Hull FC. I think he won grand final. Just for what he's done, like back in the day, sort of thing. I think he scored near enough 100 tries at the top level. But like I just said, he's done a hell of a lot for me in my career. Massively helped me get where I am now, and is a great friend now too. Other wing, quite similar to Smig. I go for Roach, Jason Roach. Similar reason. Obviously, back in the day, I think he scored something like 200 tries at the top level. Exactly the same as Smig. Done a lot for me in my career. It give me chances what I could have never dreamt of, and just always been there to support me and everything like that. So yeah, I go for Roach on that. Centres, and I picked the centre because I've obviously picked them 2 on the wing, but he predominantly is a winger. Paddy Arvan, I played with him at Crusaders. Yeah. One of the soundest, most laid-back blokes you could ever meet in your life, but an absolute freak on the pitch. A quick story about Pad. We played. He was on the wing for most of the year, and he'd make like 2-3 carries a set and like get to the halfway line, no problem. And I think it was in a game once, and the other halfback went down and went off. I was the other half, and Muzzer said to him, "Go on, Paddy, go in the arse." And everyone's like, "What the hell is going on here?" He was the best player for like 3 games at halfback.
Yeah. Just like I didn't realise how big the sides he's played for are.
I know. It just a talent, but tough as they come. But like you said, just a great fella. Other centre, I go with a lad who I played with at amateur, Dean Dolan. Now Dino played fullback predominantly for us, but obviously we're picking Tommy there. I had to get him in somewhere. He was just one of them I spoke about, mate. Just he could score a try from anywhere, Dean. I played with him briefly at Leigh Reserves as well, and he was exactly the same there. He just, at the drop of a hat, go full length of the field, just in the blink of an eye. So yeah, go Dino there. Quite similar to that. Well, I spoke about him earlier in our chat. At number 7, my cousin, I go for my cousin Steve, just for the fact of, obviously, I'd sort of grew up looking up to him, you know, and we were close as kids and growing up, and still close now. And obviously, when we was successful at Haydock, we was both playing that same team, and obviously going on Challenge Cup runs. It was just special to me that, you know, having someone so close, a family member, doing that with. And like I said, it was his dad who introduced me to, at first. His name's called Steve as well. So, you know, to make him proud like that, sort of gone like full circle, you know, that means a lot to me, to have had that. So that's why he's in there. Number 6, I've gone for a lad I played with this year, Deck Patton. Yeah. One of the most talented, well, probably the most talented person that I've played with. You know, just and a great lad. Just even the half year what we played with this year, just learned so much from him. He just sees things what you would never. Well, just not like an ordinary. You just won't see, and he just picks games apart. And half the time don't even look like he's trying, or he don't even look bothered half the time, but he is, and just one hell of a player, one hell of a talent, and him as well, another great lad. Number 10, I played with this lad at Leigh Reserves. I think he'd only just come over, McGrath Lulawai, who played at Windsor. Yeah, obviously the name speaks for itself. Just one tough lad. He'd bang people for fun. No questions asked. Just another great lad. But he'd just go out about it effortlessly, and he'd just nail people for fun. So Graf in the front row. The other front row I've gone for, he's a little bit early in his career, but we played with him last year at Swinton. George Delaney, he's a witness lad, isn't he? Yeah. I remember one of the games he played for us. We played Batley away, and you know what it's like there. Obviously, the hill and all that, and physical side. You should have seen him, John. Honestly, he was just like running through a brick wall every single carry. No questions asked. Just getting on with his work, and you know, I'm sure he will. But I hope he does go on to have a great career, which I think he will. Number 9, I've gone for one of my good mates now, Josh Eves. I've gone for him because obviously he's a fantastic lad. He's great to have around the group. He brings the group together. He's a bit of a joker, but when it gets down to the serious stuff, he's a tough lad, and he's quite skillful as well, to be fair. He knows his stuff. He's been around some good clubs, so he knows his way about. But like I said, one of my good mates now at the minute, and another great lad. Number 12, I've gone for a lad who I spoke about, who played at amateur, Danny G, a lad who I used to look up to. Just because we're best mates now, and us younger lads at Haydock, we used to look up to him. And I think that's sort of what spurred us on. You know, he was sort of like the role model at the club. He was all about what Haydock was. A real tough lad, a real genuine lad who'd do out for you, and all the effortless stuff what he'd done for me over the years, you know, on the tours and even just in general life. That's why Danny gets the nod there.
It's good having a mate in the back row when you defend out there as well, eh?
Yeah, that's what I've got to say. I'm looked after me as well. The other back row, I've gone for a lad who I played with for the past, I think, 5 years now, Gav Rodden. And I've gone for him sheerly because as a back row, absolutely lightning quick, and he's a bit like Dean, who picked at centre. He can just change the game in a drop of a hat. He's got speed, and he's got that spark about him, that strike. And like I said, good mates with him now as well. So yeah, Gav gets the nod there. And last but not least, I've gone with a lad who we spoke about as being the toughest Dougie, Lewis Hall. Like I said, I spoke about him. He could play probably anywhere on that pitch and he'd do a job for you, but plays massively above his weight. Bangs people for fun, but he's good with the ball as well. So Dougie gets the nod there. Like I said, Dougie, another one, quite a close mate and a great bloke. That's it, John.